Hi, it's Jamie D with JJ Paranormal, and it is Sunday, September 25th, 2016, and I'm going to do a session on John Benet Ramsy this afternoon, and right after this, I have sound check for Jason's Paranormal Soup, so I'm cutting it really close, so I'm not trying to rush through it, but I might not go into as much detail as I was going to. Just recently, she's been, let me turn off the meditation music. She's been in the news a lot more again recently. It's been a significant amount of time since this all happened. And a few networks showed a couple 2-3-part series on her. One I particularly liked was a 2-part where they really got into the forensics of it. And my last impression years back, this is actually one of the cases I wanted to go over when I first decided to do Voices from Beyiond and go over, famous unsolved murder mysteries, missing person cases, those type of things. This is one that always stuck with me. And I actually ended up feeling a little sorry for the parents. And when Patsy passed away, I actually felt sad for her. That I believe that's at the time the gentleman Carr was taking credit for the crime and was saying that he did it. He had a lot of evidence that wasn't out there, like that there was snot on the duct tape around her nose, and a few other things that they wouldn't have known. So he either got, like a lucky guess or whatever. So I actually felt really sad thinking after all this time, she didn't get her name cleared. Well, after hearing the forensic side of things, and those who know me know that besides paranormal, forensics is my #1 passion. I wanted to work for the FBI really, really bad before I got hurt, specifically in forensics. And like many things, I am a jack of all trades, a master of nothing. I couldn't settle on just one area, of study. Behavior analysis is always a big one, but I lost my train of thought there. Anyways, I wanted her to be clear and feel that everything was okay at the time. Well, okay, they talked about, the forensics. And listening back to them talking about the recording, the 911 call in particular, Bert was always a really big what if, the brother. And the letter, and I have copies here of the ransom note. There was always a lot of question about this ransom note and the amount of time it would take to write it. I want to know, was this ransom note written before or after? I have a feeling, it had to have been after, because I think this is a cover-up. And what I think is, like most families, when it reminds me almost of the Dugards. I believe that's their name. I don't want to say it if it's wrong. The 19 and counting, and all the stuff surrounding that. And the parents tried to hide what had happened. They didn't want their son to be found, so they sent him to camp. Did everything they could to hide, the fact that he was molesting his brothers and sisters. So sometimes parents will do what seems ungodly for another child, so this to me feels like he did something to her, they found out, and they helped hide it. If you didn't watch any of those, and I'm going to be doing a ghost box session after this, I've got questions written out, but if you didn't watch any of those exposés or documentaries that they just played, recently, I suggest you do, especially the forensic one the case of John Benet, I think it is. That one's really, really good. And they show that the letter was probably written by the mother. When she hung up the 911 call, they were able to break that audio down and clean it up. I was looking at the equipment they used thinking, damn, I wish I had something like that for EVP. Like, that would have made like the old PSB7 days and the Hack Shack days a breeze, but they were able to clean it up so much that you could hear 3 different voices, mom, dad, and the son that was supposedly sleeping. Mom, oh Jesus, what happened, or something like that. What did you do? You hear the dad say, we are not talking to you, like you would to a child that you're upset with. And then you hear the son say, well, what did you find? And little ways that the child was making emotion when the cops ask, what if she was hit with this, what if? He had the perfect motion, in the flashlight. So I think, and then they had the whole blood on the panties, a couple spots of blood that was on the panties. That was the whole DNA at the time. They could not, tie that to anything. They actually did a lot of testing on that, found the manufacturers, and found out it's actually quite common. There's these little spots of blood that they came from the Philippines or something like that. And when they're manufactured, the factory workers sometimes, these little tiny, and that's why they always say, wash your, bathing suits and your underwear and stuff when you buy them. Don't just open them up and put them on, wash your stuff. Because that stuff does happen. So that blood, the mixed DNA, that was her, there was no sexual assault. They tried to make it look sexualized because of these pictures. I actually, I was going to do the green screen. I have pictures of her here where she looks more like a little girl without the fashion, the pageant queen makeup. I mean, she's a beautiful little girl. But I don't want that to be the focus. This is the focus here, that little girl ended up here. That's where she's at right now. That's her future. And why? Was it an imposter? Was it somebody breaking in, an intruder? Was it a family member on the inside? Was it a pedophile? There were like 80 known registered sex offenders within like a few miles of their house. There's actually an article here that I'm going to pull up showing the shady areas, the most bizarre parts of the case. The discovery of the body, how the scene was compromised. Everybody walked through it, everybody and their mother. The ransom note, of course, with Patsy even with 911 referring to herself as the mother, and her daughter's the blonde girl, not giving her name. Tabloids named the brother suspect. The alleged kidnapping and sexual assault may have been staged. The cause of death. And then why the intruder theory may not hold water. There's a whole thing about the window, the broken window, a spider web, this whole thing that they, again, forensically were able to debunk and show that window was already broken. Nobody came through that window, went out. I think maybe they tried to throw the suitcase through the window and realized it wouldn't fit. Couldn't get through the grate and whatever, but that window was already broken. Unidentified DNA evidence, which we just talked about. She may have been unhealthy or abused. Burke had behavioral problems. And it does show him in his interviews, he is completely unaffected by what happened to his sister. He's not scared. Now, if an intruder came in and killed your little sister, normally you'd be a little frightened that it could happen to you, that they could break in and get you too. This child is as detached as a sociopath can be. No emotion, no nothing. He seems relieved that she's gone. They ask how he's doing now, and he's going on with his life in his own words. So that right there is very, very odd behavior. The grand jury wanted to indict their parents. Prosecutors didn't. Some of the press leaks may have been fake. The fake confession, that's Carr. There's still a lot of suspects. Bert couldn't stop smiling in the Dr. Phil interview. And I just missed that Dr. Phil interview. That's one of the ones they showed that I really wanted to see. I didn't get to see him talk to John Benet. So I am left to really have my doubts about this child, and now that I'm seeing that was him that was on the Dr. Phil thing, I kind of wish I would have watched that before I did this, but I will definitely be watching that and probably do a part 2. But that's the breakdown. I'm going to go through and I'm going to turn on the scd1 and ask some questions that I pre-wrote down. I have notes I wrote in the middle, like while I was watching the shows and everything. But I'm going to go through that, and definitely if it sounds like they're talking about Burke, let me turn this down. If they're talking about Burke, then I'm going to ask more questions regarding that. Let's see. Is this the ransom note? Oh yeah, and that amount of money was like the exact amount of money that his bonus was the year before. And basically that entire like 3.5 page ransom note could have been summed up in like 4 sentences. They used phrases from Dirty Harry and Speed, movies that they have the movie posters of on the walls in the house. Really shady stuff. So let's turn on the scd1 and see what we get. Let me make sure it's on. 1 second. Hello, hello.
Look at that money cut.
Poisoning is all with
I'll turn your flashlight on.
Agents in
Are you ready to help?
So they're breakthrough.
That one about 19 minutes. I think we'll be able to get this done before sound check.
Now that
That will be all done.
and
We added some decorations.
Things are hard.
is chemicals being
Hey, Card. We added some decorations.
Hear that?
the virus.
This still feels like this isn't right.
Before we get to the end of the heist.
Toxoplasma. What's the virus? Would be yeah. I'm not an actor.
Hello, hello. Now.
Yeah, that's not big.
Is there anybody here with us?
Is that like the you've invested
Do you know who we're talking
I
about?
think you Billy?
No,
Birds down. You know Mark I'd be interested.
About Jean Benet?
Illuminate your world with a light. Ready to get back up.
This little girl?
Okay.
Rapping.com has
There you go, you mentioned.
gonna scoot this back so the mic is closer.
So take a breath.
Did an intruder break in
I like you to know.
and write the ransom note?
When you come in. Very good point, isn't it?
Parts of your body. Action that takes hours.
Why would they write the ransom note at the house?
For energy. Force strength.
Craft is expected.
And start feeling.
And hit through button.
Set that here.
2, 2, 1. Done.
Conscious awareness. That because
Oh, you're talking.
It worked for you.
civilization. It is not difficult. It's being overrun.
Did any of her family members have anything to do with it?
Well, I'll tell you. Well, what about?
Did the fact that she did child pageants have anything to do with it? The light went on.
This thing's got a money.
Come back to me.
Can you turn off the light now? Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's for infection.
Thank you.
The mission
You get it?
Man, people do not.
Is it because you did pageants?
there's been
Big man opinion.
Yes, definitely.
Turn the light back on.
into space.
Here.
Laboratory evidence station.
Before the action.
Oh, I see it.
Was it a pedophile?
It's been faster than
What time?
Reason?
Was there a pedophile responsible?
where it's all for.
The old fight with it.
This is basically
A child sex offender.
That's the step.
increase the level of language flow.
I don't think.
Cons by.
Did Santa Bill have anything to do with it? Bill McGinnis? And that was him, and his DNA actually came back not a match.
Defined by plane.
I had to take the picture off to give you. That's the family friend Santa Bill.
Wait, I got
Did Santa Bill have an inappropriate relationship with John Benet?
Information
knows what really happened to her?
Undischarged.
It's got,
Take that cup.
Percent increase.
where's the that,
Right, go.
Who knows what really happened to her? Are her parents covering it up?
That they're, I think they're
Look at what now.
suicide rich, she said.
Did her mom help cover it up?
Suicide. Or when it failed. Oh, what about low grade? That's not good.
Does Jean Benet have any messages for anyone?
Reaching you. Persistent.
yeah.
Holy. Oh, coming.
Yeah, okay.
Does she have any messages for her brother?
And therefore the
Stories that
Dial 9.
it's often highly improbable.
Forensically, they were also able to prove that those most likely were not stun gun marks on her. And she would not have been subdued from that stun gun.
You gotta have to. Pressure card.
get over.
Does Patsy have any messages?
Other remote view. They looked at it, these amount of witnesses, it was an attack. Okay. We have to.
In a 1998 interview with John,
Our cost.
when asked who he thought could have done it, he implicated the family friend Bill McReynolds, which is Santa Bill. Was that to throw them off?
Be healthy.
Where did that come from?
Was up me. Complete formula.
Investigating.
Did you get something? About random event? Believe it was true.
Who fed Jean Benet the pineapple?
It's a food storage company. Now, sort of a logic.
Hey,
Which is why I personally said,
Yeah.
food storage.
Who gave Jean Benet the pineapple?
And no matter food. Yeah, that sounds like. Hey, 596. We better get back. Good point.
Did Burke feed Jean Benet the pineapple?
Close your lawsuit.
Yeah, we had that.
One.
With effective.
If he did, can you please make this start to swing?
If your mortgage has been
And this big,
If Burke gave her the pineapple, can you please start this to
collect payments
swing?
Two. My favorite.
And you can see I have no wrist
not attorneys.
tendon moving.
Okay, but what's the thing?
855.
Great. That,
If Burke had something to do with this, can you make the pendulum go in a circle,
Change
please?
of the future that
where's ours?
50.
think about this. What might even be in 1920 to have the replacement.
Let's do it, baby.
But now one point about that word.
Was Santa Bill a pedophile and used Jean Benet
All the billionaires
for
are all
affections?
well, of course. 212. Oh,
That's it, here.
anything like coast to coast.
I'm gonna charge this in the next moon.
Didn't know that.
Can you spin this for me? Oh, I don't hold it right here.
Hey, look.
Can you spin this for me to show me that it's working?
Running at the second row. Oh, and so. Boris is thick.
Thank you.
Because.
And you can always tell when someone's faking it. See this tendon here?
On page
If people move their wrist, you're gonna see this like muscle flexing.
David from
When you're just straight holding something,
presentations for the
you're not gonna see movement here. I see people do that all the time. It drives me crazy.
pressure.
Same with when you hold the dowsing rods.
I like it.
Can you press if Burke had anything to do with it, please?
Truly, even though
576.
If Burke had anything to do with it, can you please press?
Dr. Ramsy,
He's going hard today, but
from the low rate is on.
and I like Bullsburg.
And you're really. I mean, track the
Can you spin them towards me?
here she writes.
Spin them towards me.
Fun.
Good job. Can you spin them around?
Hey,
Can you spin spin him around? I feel you have control of the one in my left hand especially. Yeah, now I felt alright.
We'll take Sept.
Okay, I'm gonna reset. There's no water. Can you cross the rods if this has anything to do with it, please?
And so,
Take a look inside of the room. With the prostitute.
there is a because it's stunning. It's not where I saw that.
I feel with the police officer.
She's a suicide, but that's why we were on. Look at the day of the road. Get away from the cops.
That B word, that.
Who knows? And Charles
Very
can
good. I can feel you still moving
So
them.
that's,
no.
I think if you try to spin them more, you might hit my fingers though.
This is remove.
You can try though.
Because you know this is an anti-inflammatory drug.
I don't know, pointing down the first time. Alright, let's get back to questions.
That little love world. So we have a question.
Oh, it is hot.
This is
Okay, in her bedroom,
fine.
there was a note found on her bed. On this bed, there was a note found. And it was from Santa Bill. And it said, something special will happen to you after Christmas. That was given days before Christmas. What did that mean? Did you say coming for her?
This is something we need to get away. You guys don't find it.
540. Did that mean?
So, we there's no
Santa Bill died at 72, I think in 2002. And, someone's wife wrote a major play about a young girl. Or Bill's wife wrote a major play about a girl kidnapped, tortured, murdered, and kidnapped in her own basement. And DNA did not match, and he was sick and frail, so they didn't think that he could get her down to the basement. Which I then thought about the stun gun, but then after watching the forensics say about all that, kind of took away that theory. years later, the Boulder police get a call from a guy in custody for trespassing, and in his backpack they found a stun gun and a poem about John Benet.
He was funded with an
Gary Olivia. He was a convicted sex offender. He tried to strangle his own mom with a phone cord and sexually assaulted a young girl. Homeless men 10 homes down from I can't read my writing. From Ramsy's at a church. Ramsy's had they had a candlelight visual. He not only showed up, but he said a poem, an ode to John Benet, and he was obsessed. Heavy tears after she died. He made a shrine and put her face on Monopoly money. DNA was no match. Stranger gave for protection. He loved her so much he could not hurt her, he said. A man had tried to commit suicide while Ramsy's was published. He made, I don't know, I really wrote my notes wrong. I was watching TV when I wrote these. Okay, so is the killer still alive?
Never thought about me.
Is the killer still alive?
Yeah, I have a pretty good. No, that
If
wasn't
the
it.
killer's still alive, who is it?
She's called you. No,
There was Daxis, another pedophile, claimed to be the killer. He's the one that had the details about the duct tape and that she wore a bracelet. He lured him with Patsy wanting to get a message to him. He got cold feet. John Mark Carr, he was a school teacher. And he had once married a 13-year-old girl. He spoke of the murder. In '06, he was arrested in... Again, DNA didn't match. Carr's not the killer. No way to tie him to the crime without his own hearsay.
These antibiotics.
How did he know the duct tape information?
indeed, I did.
This is actually
How did this guy know about the duct tape and the bracelet?
That's not your fault.
We have returned.
Your fault is
retrieve whether it's the bone or
Were the voices on the 911 tape as they pulled out?
odds ratios.
Are they correct about what they thought they were?
Survival zone.
Did Burke have something to do with it?
Interesting. The Freddy can scroll.
Did his parents cover it up?
Then the book said, where?
Was the ransom note created before or after her death?
The first is
Did you say after?
Yeah, that was still
Was there even a sexual assault done on her? Oh, I hope you're resting in peace, Sean Benet.
the subject was
No human being, much less a little child, needs to ever experience what she experienced.
I was surprised you hadn't. John, come on, so.
showing the transport and somewhere. Treated the hospital.
And if it does turn out to be one of her family members, so we talked about the DNA test, the stun gun. So the last thing I'm going to ask, did she write it? Did Patsy write the ransom note? Did John think he could put the suitcase through the basement window?
Wall out there.
The wall out there?
An infection.
Did he think he could get the suitcase through? Is that why he knew exactly where to go? Alright, well, we're going to count down. We're going to get ready for Jason's show.
Could there be a bar?
Can you say Paranormal Soup?
You want to be cool?
Are you ready for Paranormal Soup?
Or something like that, bro.
That would have been cool.
It's like the start.
And we'll talk again later. Tonight's ITC night, so I'll be talking to you on other people's software. Okay? We'll count down from 3.
How did it feel, baby?
2.
Just 2 years up.
1. Bye, guys. Bye. Alright. And we'll listen to that back, and I'd like to watch that Dr. Phil episode, and I'll probably do another one just revolving around him. So we'll play it back. Listen with headphones, and please let me know what you think you hear, because it helps tremendously. So have a wonderful Sunday, and love and light.